Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to match day 2 of GeForce Cup Overwatch Season 2. I'm Captain Arya, and alongside me, as always, my faithful co-caster, RatZ. How's it going, RatZ?
Well, faithful is, I mean, it's not the right word to use, but hey, I am your
Hey,
co-caster
man,
after all.
my best buddy.
Best
There
buddy.
we go.
That's better. That's much better, actually.
All right, we've got two extremely exciting matchups lined for today. As we head into match day 2, it is actually some Group B action coming your way, which comprises of LXG Chennai A, Woot Gaming from Cochin. RatZ got a special
Hey, my
place
boys,
for that
my
team.
boys from Kerala, man.
Yeah, Blitz Bangalore and Playmax Hyderabad. The matchups are LXG Chennai A versus Blitz Zone right now, and the 8:30 match Woot Gaming versus Playmax.
Yep, and this is gonna be a really interesting match. I'm actually, looking forward to both of these matches because in LXG Chennai A, I mean, they've got a member from Entity Esports as well as a master in their roster. I mean, Asher from Entity Esports and Piercer, the first master to hit the Overwatch India community. Whereas in Wood Gaming, my boys from Kerala playing up against Playmax. I mean, that's enough said. Right.
Let's actually take a closer look at the lineups here. LXG Chennai A, led by Miokin, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep. Miokin, he was the captain last time, but the main shot caller, it's going to be Eminence. I mean, he was the guy giving the calls. He had some really nice mercy plays there. And joining this roster is going to be Piercer, who was the main tank. He was playing the Winston and the Zarya often. Ryder, their Lucio player, Pet Food, another DPS player in their ranks, and Asher, who I'm not really sure he does play support for Entity, but I think in this lineup we might either play DPS or support. Well, we'll only find out when we enter the game.
All right, let's turn our attention to Blitz Zone now.
Yep, Blitz Zone they're gonna have Murgi, Snake, Snorlax, Mihawk, Say My Name, and Wrecked. And another thing I should point out, Snorlax is a former Counter-Strike Global Offensive professional player, just as Mihokin is, when we mentioned in Season 1. Whereas the other team, and Mihawk is also a former Dota 2 professional player who used to play for the famous, Team Error Gaming. So,
so they're used to the competitive nature.
Pretty much. They know it's, and also Blitz Zone as a cafe, I mean, from what I've heard, is a very competitive cafe. All the top esports players in Bangalore go there to game. So this team, they are very competitive. They if they're going to win something, they're going to want to win it with blood, blood and vengeance. So it's going to be really awesome.
Yeah. So I like that you mentioned cafes there. The GeForce Cup is not just teams from all around India, but NVIDIA certified cafes being represented by their very own, cafe goers. That is the beauty of this tournament. Like, these certified cafes, they're the best place to play your games, whether it's esports or trying out new AAA titles. These NVIDIA certified cafes are stocked up with great hardware so you can enjoy the games the way they're meant to be. Let's take a look at LXG Chennai. Recently opened a platinum certified cafe. That is the highest rating you can get from NVIDIA. They've got 40 PCs. That is a massive cafe.
Yep. If you are from Chennai, then this is the cafe you have to go to. I mean, I've been there myself for the launch day, and it was really, really good. And I must say, I actually enjoyed their premium section. But they've got brilliant PCs, a good set of admins that will help you out. So I mean, it's a go-to cafe if you're in Chennai.
Yeah, Blitz Zone on the other hand, right here in Bangalore. By the way, we're live from the NVIDIA India HQ in Bangalore. Blitz Zone is a much smaller 20 PC cafe, GTX 960. So, it's got everything you need to game, whether it's your esports titles or just, normal AAA action. Not the highest of highest qualities, but it is great gaming guaranteed. Let's take a look at the brackets, by the way. We are following a double elimination format this time around for the group stages, which means not only do all the teams get to play more, but some of the newer teams get more chances of proceeding to the latter rounds of tournaments, unlike before, which was single elimination. Here we will have an upper bracket and a lower bracket. So the winners of today's matches between LXG Chennai A and Blitz and Woot Gaming and Playmax will face off next week in the upper bracket finals to qualify for the playoff. And the losers will be actually in an elimination match. The loser of the losers will unfortunately say goodbye to the tournament, but the winner of that will face the loser of the upper bracket final for a second chance at qualifying for the playoffs. Guys, just a quick reminder, the first stage of the tournament will go on throughout November, after which we will take a short recess in December while the 8 qualified teams take a little break to prepare for the playoffs, which will be a best of 3 single elimination format, until the finals, which will be best of 5. So the map picks from the teams have come out earlier today. Let us see what they have chosen. The first map up, chosen by LXG Chennai is King's Row.
Yep, Kings Row, an escort hybrid map, and I think this is a map that the players in the roster are comfortable playing in. So Kings Row, it's a very good map. A lot of choke points. I mean, I think LXG Chennai also had a similar map pick against ARG Bangalore. So they are actually in a very good. I mean, it looks like they're very confident to take this on. And the second map to follow will be Hanamura, which is Blitz Zone's pick. It is an assault map where the attacking side will have to capture 2 points, and they'll have to defend it as much as they can. Otherwise, it might go to overtime when the time runs out. And the last map, which has been randomized for this best of 3 series, is Lijiang Tower, a King of the Hill map, a control point map known as Sum, and it's gonna be really, really fun to watch this. To watch Lijiang Tower. I just hope it goes to a best of. Goes to the third game.
I'm just happy we're seeing new maps today.
Yeah, I mean, we did see Lijiang Tower yesterday in the first game, but it didn't go to a game 3 because LXG Bangalore, they just went ham all over Kurukshetra. But I hope Blitzone gives Chennai a good fight and they bring it to that map 3.
Yep, I think, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost set to get in game. Sorry for the slight delay. The players are just getting into lobby. We're going to be playing King's Row, followed by Hanamura, and then should a game 3 be required, we will be heading to Lijiang Tower. Hang in there, guys. We're just starting up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going live with map 1. Unfortunately, not all the Blitzone players have reported online, which means as per the rules, Blitzone will continue with the numbers disadvantage. I mean, LXG Chennai are going to be feeling pretty strong going into this 4v6 on their map pick.
I mean, even if Blitzone had all of their players, LXG Chennai would have been comfortable with this particular map because it is their pick after all, and they will be in a good position. And now you're gonna see the side of LXG Chennai. They're gonna be on this defending side, whereas the side of Blitzone are gonna be on attack. So let's take a quick look at the compositions here. LXG Chennai, they're going to have Ryder, who's going to be playing TLC. Asher is going to be playing that Soldier 76. And a new patch has actually been rolled in, which increases Soldier's base damage as well as his Helix Rocket, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So he's a really good pick here. We normally see Asher on the McCree, in matches and solo queue games and all that. So he's going to be playing that Soldier, and we're going to see some insane plays from him. Eminence is going to be playing a tank, the Reinhardt. We don't normally see that because he's normally their mercy player, but he's going to be onto that tank. Miyokin is going to be playing the healer instead of the DPS, while Pet Food is going to be joining Asher as Junkrat. Piercer is going to go on his signature Zarya, and in the side of Blitzone, unfortunately, with just 4 players, they're going to have 3 DPS and 1 healer, the Mei, Genji, and the Soldier. Make that a Reaper now with the Lucio. So now the map has begun and we are underway with this first game.
I think more than winning this map, Blitzone are probably just going to want to buy their team as much time as possible to get to the cafe. Bangalore traffic is brutal, but the players knew what time they had to be there. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it. Hopefully, we're going to see a proper map too, and Pet Food.
Yeah, he gets the first
with the kill onto Say My Name.
Yeah, he gets the opening kill as Junkrat there onto the Genji, and that is not what they want. But Snorlax, he's just hanging around in the top here. He's trying to go. He's trying to get a sneak onto LXG Chennai. I'm not sure if they will spot him out. He does manage to find pet food, but his position is known. So the side of LXG Chennai, they might be going towards him. And the read there from Asher and pet food, brilliant. They knew he was going for that health pack, and they immediately take him down. And right now, Mihawk, with the May, is gonna try and deal some damage to the side of LXG Chennai's tanks here, and pops up an ice wall, but there's nothing much that can be done.
Yep, Blitz Zone are just finding extremely hard to cope, and with the numbers advantage, it was always going to be an uphill battle. It doesn't look like they're going to get much out of this, but as I said, they're just buying their teammates time, trying to also get a read of how LXG Chennai A plays, because that information can be extremely valuable going into that second crucial map.
Yep, I mean that is a plus point in their advantage, but then again, this is just the first map. Only one composition has been, revealed so far, and yep, LXG Chennai are just taking this, controlling the entire tempo of the game, and it's not looking good for the side of Blitz Zone.
Yep, a lot of people wondering about the patch since it rolled out last night. So the official rule regarding the patch is we are playing on the new patch. However, Sombra and the new maps will not be available. However, all the other changes in the maps in the game, through the patch with regards to the ultimate cooldown, the charge requirement will not be changed. So people are playing on the new patch rules.
Yep, but side of Blitz Zone, they actually take 2 people down in the side of LXG Chennai. They also have the ultimate onto the Lucio and the Genji. They could pull off something insane here. And here comes the Dragon Blade, goes in, but that defensive ultimate used by Miyoken is gonna keep them alive, and there's nothing much that this Genji can do at this point. So, and here comes the sound barrier from Rek, and they're just trying to contest this point as much as they can with just 4 of them. It's like an A-team setup all coming up from Blitz Zone, but they're just going to be destroyed here by these Russian forces, quote unquote. But yeah, and Asher, he's just going to end this with a double kill with his ultimate.
Yep, LXG Chennai were always looking stronger going into this matchup, but the numbers advantage is just low blow for Blitz Zone, unfortunately, and it's really not helping their cause. It was always going to be a tough battle for the Blitz Zone players, but it is what it is. However, because it isn't a single elimination match, even if Blitz Zone do lose this first entire matchup against LXG, they will go to the lower bracket. They still have a chance of proceeding to the next round and qualifying for the playoffs. So it's not all over. There is the double elimination format, which means all teams, new and old alike, have that slight safety net, if you want to call it.
Yep, I mean that's there, because that's the beauty of the GSL format. In case we lose the first one, you can always come back. And if LXG Chennai, if they lose against the winners of either Wood Gaming or never mind that, Mihawk saved his own life with that May Ice Wall, and yeah,
look at the aggression coming out from the guys at LXG Chennai, and the charge comes in really far, but Piercer takes down Say My Name before the Reinhardt even reaches him, and that is unfortunately the story of Blitz Zone's first round.
Yep, I mean
not like a dent.
Yeah, not like this, man, not like this at all. But with this new patch, I actually want to see how teams would try to bring out these new strategies, new compositions into the current meta, because I'm actually looking forward to that, especially from some of the known teams, especially from season 1, such as players Team A, Game Guardian, LXG Bangalore, LXG Chennai, so on and so forth. Even ARG Bangalore, I want to know how they plan to go on with their team composition. So I'm just hoping that there is some little changes here to the normal setup that you see.
Yeah, I want to see how Blitz Zone are actually going to set up on the defensive side to make up for those 2 less players they have, because on offense, it was always going to be an uphill task against that numbers advantage. But on defense, if they manage the picks right, they can at least delay the inevitable.
Yep. But I mean, what I would suggest for LXG Chennai, even though they have 4 members, just go in for what the strats you normally see in competitive. I mean, bring out those Junkrats, bring out those Mays, bring out that annoying Zarya Winstons or Roadhogs maybe, and have one Lucio just to keep your guys healing up and ready. But they've gone in for a different approach. They've gone in for a single healer, single tank, as well as 2 DPS, namely the Pharah and the Genji. Whereas the side of LXG Chennai, Asher and Fiercer, they're going to be playing up the tanks. Eminence is going to go back to the healer role with Ryder, as Mioken is going to take his signature Reaper into his hands with Fiercer with Pet Food on the Genji.
Yep. So we've got Farah, Reinhardt, Lucio, and Genji on the side of Blitz Zone from Bangalore, trying to make whatever they can off this offensive push.
Right, and the game is off. I mean, LXG Chennai, they just need one point to actually win this game. But I mean, this is not the win. I mean, if Blitzo had a full roster, they could have probably given a close fight. And they're just going in ham here, already taking out the tank wreck. And Mihawk, coming in from the side, he's going to be flying up in the air. But Asher there with the
Asher
jump.
with the jump to try and close the gap, and does manage to punish Mihawk for that aggression on the Farah. And that is going to be the payload capture and the first map, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, the first map for LXG Chennai. And there you have it. You saw that Zarya emote right there. I mean, what is this? I mean, yeah, that is probably what he meant, but hey, you never know. And that is gonna be map 1, ending, really quick there due to the numbers disadvantage for Blitz Zone.
I mean, extremely unlucky there, but rules are rules. The players didn't turn up to the match. They were informed that they have to report in the lobby on time. Otherwise, they will have to either forfeit the match or play with the players present. Asher with the play of the game.
Yep, I mean, he did use that tactical visor, and he took down 2 members from the side of Blitz Zone there. And there you go, he takes down Mihawk and takes down Snorlax immediately. He also follows up with another kill on Say My Name there, making it a triple kill, which did not appear in the POTG. But, that was just, it was a pretty good play there.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after this short break. Don't go anywhere. Hopefully, we're going to have a 6v6 this time around. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally back after that delay. But the good news is we finally have a 6v6 on our hands.
Hooray! I mean, this is going to be really... I'm excited right now.
Hats off to the Blitzon players for turning up.
Well, some shots fired there, small number of shots, but hey, we are now here with the game, and now we can witness a 6v6 here at Hanamura here for this second map. It's a map pick by Blitzon, and let's take a quick look at the compositions. We've got Mayhawk, who's going to be playing that defensive May. Say My Name is going to be on the Genji. Baba Bed, who's also known as Snake, he will be playing the Reinhardt. Rek will be playing that defensive Zenyatta. Snorlax on the Lucio, and Murgi is going to be playing that Roadhog. Meanwhile, in the side of LXG Chennai, it looks like they've gone in for the same lineup as they did for their attacking side last time, with the only exception of Mioken staying as the soldier, and and Asher is going to be on that Winston. So that's one thing I like about LXG Chennai. They're switching roles. Like, you see, most teams, they have a definite role. They players A and B are healers, players C and D are DPS, and the rest of them are just tanks. Whereas inside of LXG Chennai, they only have a few players who do that. Like in this case, I would say Ryder, Pet Food, and Piercer. These guys, I've only seen them playing these set of roles. But the rest of them, Asher, Eminence, Mioken, they're just switching around from tank, DPS, and healer, which is really good.
Yeah, so Overwatch is about changing up your team composition.
Flexibility.
For that, every player also needs to be comfortable in multiple roles, and that's what defines a successful team. Great hold coming out here from Blitzon. Unfortunately, Say My Name does fall. They were holding behind the Reinhardt pretty strong, but they have been overrun as LXG Chennai breaks into the side, takes down 4 members, and have easy access to the point now.
Yep, I mean that 4 for 2 trade there is gonna help them capture this point. And start off with Asher getting the first pick onto Say My Name. There was nothing much he can do, and they've got this first point. Asher, playing it really aggressive, not letting them get close to the point so that his team can finally secure it.
We saw Nabu playing in a similar style yesterday.
Yeah,
making sure his team can cap while the others, his team caps while he holds off.
Hey, I mean, both Asher and Nabu are teammates, and they have the same mindset there. But LXG Chennai rushing in towards this beast site here, and they're just dealing a lot of damage. Pet Food there with a single kill with the Dragon Blade, but takes the fall. And looks like Blitzon, they're going to win this fight there, and they're going to be able to hold on for another
6
moment.
minutes, 45 seconds is what's left on the clock for LXG to capture this point, and trust me, for a team of LXG's caliber, that is too much time.
Too much time indeed. I mean, overtime.
Yeah. Given how easy it was for them to break onto that first side, I don't think this is going to be too long before Blitzon crumbles under the pressure. Look at Reinhardt. He's holding them off, but there's nobody behind him to do the damage, to back him up.
Yep.
And they are suffering because of that. Winston goes into the side. Baba has the Urchetta, unfortunately doesn't know which side to look. Primal Rage comes out from Asher, and this is all sorts of hell inside the point.
And Asher he just wants to take this May out of the game. I mean, May is cancer.
Finally.
He finally does it. But meanwhile, at the site, Say My Name pulls out the Dragon Blade, gets 2 kills there, and he's going to be assisted with the help of his team. But Pet Food is there with the retaliation, goes ahead and gets 2 kills for himself. And now he's going to get hammered completely by Snake here. And Blitzon trying their best to hold on to this point, and they're doing a really good job. Unfortunately, that ultimate coming in from the Lucio was a bit too early there. I mean, it wasn't even needed, as Blitzon already won the fight. So right now, with just 5.5 minutes remaining and no ultimates in the side of Blitzon, they'll have to be careful for the next attack that comes.
We've got 92% on Piercer's Arya. Pet Food almost has Dragon Blade. Ryder has Sound Barrier, and that is going to be a whole lot of pain heading Blitzon's way. Snorlax and Say My Name fall already without any ultimates being expended, and this is not looking good for Blitzon.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of the end.
Oh,
Pet Food just forces the Zenyatta back into his side. He's like, nope.
And Pet Food
just look at how aggressively they're holding them at spawn.
Yeah, I mean, this is going in ham here. Piercer also has his Graviton surge in case if things go wrong. And
Transcendence does come out, but it is a bit too early, I think.
Oh, but
everyone gets caught in the Graviton surge. No, just the Zenyatta, my bad.
I mean, I'll say the Divas, the Divas self-destruct there kind of helped. Oh, but Murgi, he's going to catch them all in a really good spot. Damages away. He almost has Miyokin in his sights, but unfortunately will not be able to take him out. His mech blows up and he is super low on health. But with the crouching shots, he manages to take down Piercer, and Pet Food will follow there with the melee down. And Blitz Zone are going to be able to hold on to this point thanks to their 2 DPSs, Say My Name and Murgi on the Diva. I mean, that was just a brilliant show of performance there.
From Blitz Zone really stepping up, and the best part is they have got 3 ultimates right now. They hold off that Sound Barrier, Dragon Blade and Primal Rage they on the side of LXG.
They are still lacking a defensive ultimate on either the Zenyatta or the Lucio, and they need to get one now because the side of LXG, they've got the Dragon Blade, the Primal Rage and the Sound Barrier to work with, and looks like they are going in for the suppose this Genji here. Meanwhile, Asher, side of LXG Chennai, they're going to take control of this high ground. Oh, but Say My Name goes in early there, pulls out his Dragon Blade, but wastes it completely as he gets taken down. And Asher going in aggressive, takes down Murgi as well. And here comes the Primal Rage. He is going to go ham here, just smacking everybody off of this point, whereas the rest of the team are focusing on the main targets. And it looks like LXG Chennai might be able to take this unless the side of Blitz Zone has something to say about that. There is 73% onto this Diva here for her self-destruct, but she's taking a lot of damage. And it looks like LXG Chennai, they are just looking really good at this point.
Yeah, Pet Food still has the Dragon Blade on him, but it doesn't look like at this point whether unlikely that he's going to need it. Sound Barrier comes in from Snorlax, keeping his teammates alive in that crazy close range fight. Pet Food, Miyokin, Asher all find kills of their own, bringing it down to a 6v3 in the side. Make that 6v2. Mihawk still doesn't have Blizzard. Murgi 7% away from the self-destruct. Coming out, and that should be clearing most of the people. Everyone clears out from site. That is just the 1 kill. That is not what they wanted, but it bought them enough time. Beautiful boost coming there from Diva, pushing people off the side, buying her teammates time to get back on. May is now on the scene, freezes the Winston, doesn't manage to find the kill. Zenyatta stuns and comes out, once again trapping them right outside spawn as they capture the point. LXG Chennai just bullying Blitz Zone out of the site there after a great hold from them.
Yeah, it was like the fight went on for at least 2 minutes. Actually, it went on for 3.5 minutes.
There was no downtime in the action from when we said there's 6 minutes 40 seconds left.
Zilch's downtime, and oh my god, the way Blitz Zone played was just really good there. I mean, they just did their best to hold it. Murugi's, self-destruct actually bought them time. But, I mean, if he had thrown it in the air, that would have probably gotten more than a kill. But he did take out that Lucio, buying them enough time. But, the side of LXG Chennai just overwhelmed them. And now, now Blitz Zone, they'll have to capture 2 points here, and in order to bring this to overtime.
2 points with as much time in hand as possible.
Exactly.
Otherwise, as per the Overwatch rule set, if Blitz Zone capture it on an overtime, that means LXG just need to capture the 1 point next round to win this match.
That's true. And speaking of which, Blitz Zone, they gave a pretty good fight, but they are facing off against the runners up of Season 1, LXG Chennai. I mean, it's pretty much the same roster as last season, with the only addition of Asher, who's playing that extremely good flex role. We've seen him play the Winston, we've seen him play the Soldier, now we're seeing him play the Zenyatta. I mean, I'm just waiting for this guy to pop out that McCree, but with this new patch rolling in, I don't think we'll be seeing that anytime soon. So, in the side of Blitz Zone, they're going to go in with Mihawk and Murg. They're actually going to go in with 3 tanks, 1 healer and 2 DPS. Kind of a very bulky strat, but there's not enough healing output coming in from them. I mean, they have got Lucio on as the AoE heal, but I am still not convinced by this composition.
They're just probably going to be hoping that Snorlax and Say My Name can deal enough damage so they don't require that sustained heal.
Alright, so it looks like it's going to be a 3 DPS strat now instead of 3 tanks. So that way the healer, he has an easier time healing the entirety of the team, because less amount of health, less easy heals. But meanwhile, you can see
Mihawk quickly makes his way onto the side. However, has to rewind to get that HP. That's not what he wanted from that push. Look at Asher just holding passively inside, throwing his Zenyatta orbs at whatever he sees.
Yeah, he's gonna need to put. He's need to go.
Yeah, and look at him constantly checking for that backstab.
Yeah.
Just in case somebody managed to sneak through.
Yeah,
That is
I
great
mean,
awareness.
that is the job of the support Zenyatta there. Discard your tank, discard the enemies that pass through this choke point, heal up your tanks and the ones who are low on health, and make sure you check for any possible backstabs, especially if it's a Genji or if it's a Tracer. And here comes the sound barrier coming in from the side of Blitz zone, but that May wall is going to block them off, buy him a little bit of time there, a couple of seconds. But there's nothing that Blitz zone can do, as LXG Chennai are just dealing damage, taking them one by one, and they're going to take the fall there. Murgi going to get squished by Eminence, and that is going to be...
Look at how aggressive that hold was from LXG Chennai, going outside the bridge. Not many people do that. They prefer to stay inside, make use of those choke points, wait for the enemy, wait for the attackers rather to come to them. But LXG Chennai, like, no, we're going to stop you in your tracks. Zenyatta and Miokin there stopping that little backstab.
Yep, Pierce's also got that draft on surge. He could use it in, and I mean, in LXG Chennai, they all got ultimates and they're all experienced players. They don't have to use all of them at once. They could actually just use that draft on surge as with the mains Blizzard and deal a lot of damage with that.
Just look at all with the five ultimates. I'm sorry, ready. This hold is going to be relatively easy. However, Reinhardt, Genji, and the Tracer all almost ready from Blitz zone as well.
But the Maze Blizzard coming into play here as 4 members make that 5. Take the fall there from the side of Blitz zone Bangalore,
and still the 4 ultimates remaining.
Yeah, still 4 ultimates remaining. But you know, say my name went in for the backstab, but there's not much he can do. He's facing up against a soldier who is, you know, who's actually dropped him down to 60 points of health. But you know, there's nothing much he can do right now. There's only a minute and a half left, and you know, LXG, I mean, Blitz zone, they have to actually try and improvise here. Mihawk going into the pulse bomb, drops it there, gets the kill onto, okay, doesn't manage to get the damages Piercer in fact, but this is the opportunity. This is where Blitz zone has to go in.
Yep, LXG's ranks are broken, they're all split up, and Blitz zone's got the perfect chance to get in onto site. The Dragon Blade from Say My Name comes in, wastes a bit of time, but the Transcendence and Sound Barrier at the same time is going to mean that he does not manage to find any kills with that. Oh!
Yes. Oh, but you know, Blitz zone, they're doing it. I mean, they take down 2 members inside of LXG Chennai, but they just need to get 3 more kills. But Asher there going in ham, takes 2 quick kills, and looks like he is really low on health, but he's able to survive. He does take the fall, however, but the Graviton Surge coming in from Piercer is gonna keep LXG's defensive front line really well here, and it looks like this might be game and series for LXG Chennai.
I mean, but it's not all over for Blitz zone. Despite the 2-0, they will proceed to the lower bracket match next week, facing the loser of our next game today, either Woot Gaming or Playmax. So they're not out yet. This may be it's an unfortunate end to their first match in the tournament. But thanks to the double elimination, all cafes, all players get more of a chance to proceed to the playoffs, more of a chance to play. So hopefully they'll turn up on time next time.
Yep, and LXG Chennai, they're going to be moving towards, I mean, they're going to be moving further ahead in the upper bracket, where they'll face off against the winner of Woot Gaming and Playmax Hyderabad later this evening. Whereas, you know, Blitz zone, they be facing off against the loser in the lower bracket. And here you go, Pet Food here with the play of the game as the Genji. I mean, this was where, you know, the side of Blitz zone just gave an insane defense there. And that was just really good. I mean, look at that. He just went in straight for the supports so he can take down the rest of the team. And that was just, you know, a good POTG coming out from him.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this match as LXG Chennai takes the first match against Blitz zone. However, that's not all the action for today. We've got Woot Gaming from Cochin against Playmax from Hyderabad coming to you at 8:30 p.m. So that match is also there. That is the second first round match in Group B. The winner will face LXG Chennai in the upper bracket match to qualify for the playoffs next round, while the loser will go ahead to face Blitz zone in the lower bracket elimination match. Thank you so much for joining us for this match. Unfortunately, unfortunate circumstances for the first map, but rules are rules. We will see you at 8:30 p.m. for the second map.
Ciao.